It's time for Political Buzz, the television forum to discuss politics and issues of interest for all of Western New York. Now, from the WBBZ television studio at the Eastern Hills Mall, this is Political Buzz.
Hello, everyone. John DeShula with you here in our studio. We're getting ready for big things here at WBBZ-TV. That's why we're standing in the audience section. Our studio located right next to Macy's in the Eastern Hills Mall, getting ready for our Bragging Rights TV show and all kinds of specials coming up this year. But our focus on Political Buzz is continuing on education. You know, Carl Palladino has appeared with us. We've talked about Buffalo School Board issues. Last week, you met Darius Pridgeon, the president of the Buffalo Common Council. And tonight, we're going to take you on an interesting tour of the Health Sciences Charter School in Buffalo. It is a very unique location. It's on Ellicott Street, and it was founded with the expressed intent of teaching high school students about health care. Everything from preparation if they want to move forward in the medical career to even how to work at a medical facility or a healthcare industry. It's a very unique place. It's a Buffalo charter school, which means it's not bound to report to the Buffalo School Board. The teachers are not in the union. And let me tell you, when Brian Cribb and I went over to visit everybody over there, the sense of positivity was overwhelming. The things that they're doing there are exceptional. So that said, we should mention that the Buffalo School Board elections are coming up Tuesday, May 6th. We have a comprehensive review. The Buffalo News did a very good review of all the Buffalo School Board candidates, and I have that posted on our website at WBBZ.TV. So make sure you check that out, because we want you to get out and vote on May 6th to continue to help the Buffalo School and the Buffalo School Board continue to make the right choices. But first, let's visit the Health Sciences Charter School and meet the board members who put it all together. How did this school come to be with the community partners that you helped put together?
We started talking about a school in 2008. I was with the Communications Workers of America. We represent about 7,000 healthcare workers in Western New York. And we discovered that there was no feeder system to the healthcare entities here in Western New York at both Kaleida and CHS, which the CWA represented. So we talked with the people that had worked in our group called the Economic Development Group. We wanted to figure out how do we create jobs in Western New York where our children don't have to leave Western New York once they graduate from college. And healthcare seemed to be where all the action was. And we decided that why don't we start a high school that will train our inner city youth and first ring suburb youth for a career in healthcare. And one thing led to another. We got our charter in 2009, started our school in the 9-10 school year. And now we have our first graduating class coming up. The easy part for me, anyway, was my connections with the healthcare community in Western New York through the CWA representing healthcare workers. And when we posed the question to both CHS and Kaleida, they couldn't wait to jump on board. The same thing happened at Blue Cross. There was an individual Blue Cross, Blue Shield, that was formerly at Kaleida Health. And when we went to Blue Cross and asked them if they'd be interested in putting a board member on our board, they jumped at the chance. And the same thing with Independent Health. Everybody said this is a great idea. They tried to do it before. There didn't seem to be the interest, and we got the right people at the right time, got them on our board, and the help that our partners have given this school has made it what it is today.
Now, Cynthia, you're with Roswell Park Cancer Institute, and you've been there a while. And the dynamic that you bring to the table is your tenure with Roswell and what you've learned. But what was the reaction at Roswell when the pitch was made to put together a board to develop a school like that?
Well, everybody was very enthusiastic about it. We all faced the same employment problems, finding really good people walking in the door who can move into these more high-tech based jobs that are the core of healthcare nowadays. But Roswell also has always had a commitment to education. We run a division of the Graduate School of the University of Buffalo on campus. We've had a long-term relationship with City Honors High School and their honors biology classes. So there's always been that commitment. The idea that we could broaden that out to a base of students in the city of Buffalo and first-ring suburbs was very attractive to us. And one of the things I think that we've worked very hard on as a board is to explain to our students and their parents that this is more than just being a doctor, a nurse, a physical therapist, absolutely critical, obviously, employment base, but we're small cities. And at Roswell, we also have the research components. So we have research faculty and education faculty and people who run flow cytometry research units in addition to direct patient care. I think people are not aware of just what the diversity of job opportunities are within healthcare, and it is well beyond just direct patient care.
Is this a model for the rest of the country, David? I've never heard of a school like this, although maybe there are others that exist, with this kind of a board and community support to keep it going.
I don't know of another school that has this exact dynamic. I believe there is another health science school in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it really is the interaction between the board members here and the general public that is helping this school create a name for itself. I think it is a model that could be sustained, and not only in health science, manufacturing. There's a lot of talk in Buffalo right now about STEM schools. All that stuff can be done. It really is about the commitment of the board and the commitment of the employees in the school.
Well, there's also a lot of activity in Western New York. Just driving here today, you pass by the medical campus. So the cranes in the air for the Kaleida Health initiatives and on the hospitals, the Catholic Health Hospital coming at the end of the 33 there. So it seems to me that this would be a natural piece as the community tends to focus more not only on healthcare but education also. I
agree. It was funny when we were putting the school together. Somebody from the community actually mentioned to me, "Why would you bother putting a healthcare school together? That's history," and they couldn't be more wrong. And as Cynthia said, one thing that's important to remember that not all of our students are going to be doctors and nurses. My background, going back a ways, a master plumber in a hospital in Elmira, New York. And so it's not just about the medical field. It's the city jobs that Cynthia talked about: housekeeping, dietary, maintenance, biomedical engineering. There's a whole range of job opportunities in the healthcare field. And this is the beauty of our school, because not all of our students are going to go on to higher ed.
And Cynthia, I got to believe that the board is very connected to the instructors, the teachers, and the students. It's very positive energy you feel.
It's a terrific faculty that Hank Stupinski has put together, but even more so, it's a terrific board. This is a very involved, active board who like working with each other and work well together. And we're here for the teachers. If they need a resource, if they need a speaker, if they're looking for materials for the classroom, this is a board that will step up to the plate and find those resources for them. We probably have more of a first-hand knowledge of students and faculty than many school boards do, but it's because all of us are here at various times of the day, various times of the week, doing an additional piece to help improve the overall product that the school is producing.
Dave, why this building and why this location? Because this building has a lot of historic significance, but with that came a lot of hard blood, sweat, and tears to get it going.
I'd like to tell you that it was well planned from the beginning, but I mean, we started in a facility in Kenton, Sheridan Parkside Community Center, and it was only big enough for, at the most, 2 years of our school. And so during the first year that we were open there were some transportation issues for our students from the inner city. We lost about 20 or 30 students who couldn't get to school. And we started looking for property, and we looked all over the place. And this place showed up on the map. When we came to look at it, there was a few, it's not for the faint-hearted. There were no windows in the school. The plaster was off the walls. And that was, we probably looked at it in February, maybe.
It's an old religious school?
It was St. Vincent's orphanage. It was a girls' orphanage. And that's what it was built as by E.B. Green. And it opened in 1899. So it's got a lot of history. It was Bishop O'Hearn High School after that, and then it was the ECC City campus, and then it was abandoned for 30 years.
Wow. That's how the Health Sciences Charter School got started. Now we're going to introduce you to some of the faculty who are totally plugged in to their student body. Take a look. Elizabeth, what do you teach here?
I teach chemistry, both non-Regents and Regents chemistry.
Now, we took a look at one of the classes. Explain what the students were up to.
In that class, we were doing a lab where they're turning copper pennies, and they were zinc plating them with zinc to make them look silver, and then they were heating them to make them turn to bronze, and they look like gold. So they're making copper pennies into gold pennies, and it's a classic redox reaction.
On the way over here, our photographer Brian and I were talking about how you keep students engaged. How do you do that with such complex subjects?
There's a lot of humor that we use, a lot of joking, and I look at chemistry in a much more out-of-the-box type of way, kind of applying it to real-life situations. And my atoms and molecules are people having relationships and breakups and bonding and things like that to kind of make it a little bit more applicable. And we do a lot of hands-on activities. I have a lot of lab time with the students, so we do a lot of lab activities, and they get to do a lot of really cool experiments.
It seems to me that the students have a real positive energy to want to learn. How do you build that culture in the classroom as a teacher?
Well, it's something that we start from the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, I spent a lot of time building relationships with the students, really getting to know them and them getting to know me, and that they can trust me that I'm going to do everything I can to help them learn the material. We have mastery charts that we do throughout the unit so they can track their own progress, and they feel very confident. Every time they get to color in their box in the mastery chart, they feel really good that they've mastered this one concept, and it's just taking in small little chunks of time, and then all of a sudden they've learned the whole unit. What's unique about this school, I've been in several other schools across the region, and the support that we have here, the principal he's wonderful in terms of supporting us and helping us with outside the box thinking. If we have different ways that we want to teach something and approach something. We have a lot of technology that we have use of. I have a class set of Samsung Galaxy tablets that we use in the classroom and to differentiate instruction. We have AmeriCorps volunteers. We have a lot of support staff. The support for the students and the support for the teacher is incredible. The other thing that's really special about this school is the teamwork component with the faculty. Everybody really jumps in. It's not just me teaching chemistry. I've had the Spanish teacher come and say, how can I help you get your kids ready for the Regents exam? And we're teaching cross-curricular across the whole school. So really infusing that, and everybody really helps in and really works together.
What do you teach here at the Health Sciences Charter School?
I teach this year English 12 honors, and 11 honors.
Right. How do you keep the students engaged and involved? And it's a piece of the curriculum that's not exactly healthcare, but it's important for them to get.
For the honors track, I usually have a lot of, and even for the regular track, I usually have a lot of real life experiences for them. So for example, this year, my 12 honors took a college course in the beginning, and I had to get certified through ECC. And I am now an adjunct professor through ECC, and I taught them this year college composition, where they got to write about any topic they could possibly think of, media influence on body image, anything that they could possibly think of, and then they had to write about 7 to 10 page argumentative paper.
The discipline of writing, I have found to be a challenge in the world of technology where things are posted in 140 characters. How do you connect to engage the disciplines of writing?
This year I kind of threw a fit and asked for a complete set of Chromebooks, Google Chromebooks in my classroom, and I got it. Have to share it sometimes, but I did get the Google Chromebooks, and actually I implement them almost daily into my classroom. They use Google Docs through their Google email that the school assigns them, and they write all of their essays, outlines, everything on there, and it's all shared digitally. So I've embraced the digital era that they are growing up in, and actually I've almost gone completely paperless in my classroom.
What would you like to see these students end up becoming?
Anything. I really tell them they can be anything. Even if it doesn't end up being in the health science field or anything, I know that they can walk out of here being proud of what they've been taught and what they could learn and what they've taught me.
As our focus on education continues here on WBBZ, when we come back after the break, you'll meet some of the students at the Health Sciences Charter School. Stay with us. Welcome back to Political Buzz. The Buffalo School Board elections are May 6th, and we're going to give you some of the candidates. Here they are. Samuel P. Davis, he's a self-employed attorney. Adrian Fitzgerald Harris, Lancaster Central School teacher's aide. John Licata, he's a lawyer at the Erie County Water Authority. And Wendy Mistretta is an unpaid professional working in leadership positions in Western New York. More at WBBZ-TV. Now, as our education special here continues, we're going to take you back to the Health Sciences Charter School and introduce you to some of the great students that they have there enrolled. So, Ashley, what made you come to the decision that you wanted to be involved in healthcare and then come to this school?
I think I always just wanted to be a nurse and to be able to help people get better and influence them, even if it's just to make them smile or feel better. Just having the impact on their life. And then my parents heard about Health Sciences Charter School, and when they had like a little open house, I came with my parents, and we heard about what the school's goals were to be and how we were going to be taking on MASH camps and being in hospitals and having college classes. And that experience to be in the medical field just seemed like the right choice to go to this school, because that's what I want to be in my future, so it's just on the right path.
When I was little, that's when I started the passion of being in the healthcare business. But how I found the school, my previous principal in elementary school, she transferred me to the school.
So the other school helped you get here?
Yes.
You said you have an aunt who you looked up to who was working in the field.
Yes. She worked at Roswell for about 35, 40 years.
What do you like most about going to school? What do you like learning the most?
I have no favorites. I like school, period. But I actually like the teachers here. They're very inviting and welcome.
So that's important. So the teachers engage with you. How about you, Ashley? What makes you motivated and excited to come every day?
Probably the same as Charvet, the teachers, because it's going to be hard as being a senior leaving the teachers in June, because they've always been there for us. Even if you need help that's not related to academics, they're always there to be an open ear and give you advice. But even if you're struggling with your schoolwork, they're always open to stay after school with you to get you back on track.
What do you want to be?
A nurse practitioner.
And you mentioned Duville College. Right?
Yes, I'm starting the nursing program in the fall at Duville College.
And Charvet, you want to be an OBGYN?
Yes, I do. I really like being an OBGYN, especially caring for the women and their fetuses or children. I like that a lot.
Well, that's terrific that you're so focused. How about your friends? You know, are they as focused as you are about school and what they want to be when they grow up? What do you tell them?
Well, I just kind of encourage them. I'm kind of mother of the group in a way, but I'm a good influence amongst my friends.
Explain the MASH camp. I'll talk to the principal about that too, but what did you do at the MASH camp? It's a one-day experience, sort of a real-life experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, throughout my 4 years, I've been at Roswell a couple of times and then even at different colleges in the area. So the whole school goes out to different places. A lot are medical facilities, colleges for like juniors, and we just get to see what people do on their daily basis in the medical field, and we get to see the different aspects and different jobs in the medical field.
Charvet, what did you do on your MASH camp?
The MASH camp that we just went to, I went to Sisters Hospital. We toured the medical lab, we toured the surgical room, the operation room, and we did the sterile lab.
So you saw some real-life stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. What did you think?
Well, when we went to the lab, I seen a cervix, a uterus, and I seen a chopped up breast. It was cut up for cancerous cells.
Wow. So, and that didn't put you out at all? You embraced that because that's what you want to do?
I love that stuff. I actually wanted to hold it in my hands, but I couldn't.
Well, good luck to you both, okay?
Yes.
And someday I hope to be interviewing you. You know, I know you're a valedictorian and you made some speeches. I guess we'll end with you. And then, Ashley, what did you say in your valedictorian speech?
Well, I'm still working on that, but I know I do have a lot that I'm going to say. A lot is to thank our board, because without them, this wouldn't have happened. They had the idea, and they really put so much into this school, and they are a tight-knit community with our school, and our board members know us by name. We know our board members. At least once a week, you can see one board member in our school. They are very active in our school, so without them, this wouldn't be. So we're going to continue to grow because of them.
Ashley and Charvet, just two of the hundreds of students that are at the Health Sciences Charter School. So bright, so inspiring. And now let's meet the man who is running the ship over there, the principal. Take a look. What is the mission of the Health Sciences Charter School?
Our mission is to prepare our young people for college and career readiness in the healthcare industry.
And how did you get to come here and connect with the board and build the curriculum? What was your personal journey quickly to put you where you're at?
Well, I've been working in education for 25 years or more, and was an academic teacher, and then I was a career and technical teacher. I was a principal of a career and technical school. Then I was a director, similar to an assistant superintendent of career and technical and adult education and nursing and healthcare programs in the Albany area. And then I saw an opportunity to start a brand new school that didn't have a history, didn't have a set of constraints. I'd always been able to take schools from where they were and made them better, but I always hit these ceilings and these limitations. And I had an opportunity to take all those skills and all those mistakes I made over 25 years and then come here and start from ground zero.
And we hear a lot of activity, out in the hall because it's in between periods. And this is a very active student body, and you're very connected with, as the teachers are, with the students. You really, it seems to me, are getting to know them on such a one-on-one level. I have to believe that that's so unique.
It is. Many people come and visit our school and describe our faculty more as a family than a group of teachers that come and punch the clock and leave. I run this school with the philosophy that every one of these 450 plus students are my own children. And what would I want for my children in their education? And it starts with trust, it starts with relationship building, and then pushing these students to high expectations. And every time we push them, it's counterintuitive to what many people think about education, but if you push them and push them, they'll get there, and they appreciate it.
How does the charter school system work for our viewers that don't understand what a charter school is and how students can get involved as opposed to a more traditional Buffalo public school that may not be as buttoned up?
Well, charter schools are public educations. There's no applications, there's no fees, there's no enrollment process. You fill out an application and then we draw your name out of a lottery if we have more applications than students. We have all the same academic standards as any other high school. We have all the same safety standards, but we have a lot of flexibility in how we go about delivering our curriculum. For example, we're a year-round school. It allows us flexibility to give students different experiences at different times of year. We don't have large bureaucracies where we've got to go through approval processes that most public schools do. We're very quick and limber in what we do. We're able to make adjustments quickly, and we must sometimes because we have a charter that can be anywhere between 3 and 5 years. And if you don't perform academically and provide what your charter says, the state can come and close you. We think it's an innovative model. We've got an incredible governance board. We've got incredible teachers. We've got incredible students. And it's the same demographic that you would see in the city of Buffalo, except we're also a regional charter school. We're college and career ready. We're preparing these students equally for their college as we are for their careers. They come from Niagara Falls. They come from Cheektowaga. They come from all over the place, and that brings diversity to our school and our student population. 54 different middle schools send us their freshman class. And that brings us lots of challenges, but lots of opportunities.
And for you personally, you talked about the fact that you look at these students as your own, so to speak, and the connectivity you have with them is the same connectivity I think you have, seems like you have with the teachers and then ultimately the board. That they are with you and the support system is in place because you answer to the board, but then the teachers and the engagement that you have with them, it seems to be equal, that you're as equally engaged with them as you are the students.
Yeah, I guess that's another benefit. They look at me as the old man. I'm the father figure here. But my job is to get rid of the barriers. These teachers are highly educated. They've been trained in the best methods. They've had the best opportunities. But it's not my job to hamstrung them. I don't want to tell them how to teach. I don't want to be prescriptive in what to do every day in their classrooms. I want them to help these students learn in a safe environment. I want them to push them beyond their potential. I want them to hit certain standards. How they get there doesn't matter to me. Get there, be innovative, be creative, do whatever it takes to make these students learn and be successful. And the board treats me the same way. They say, Hank, here's the expectations that we have of you. Get there. And then what do you need? What do you need for resources, help, assistance? And they bring it. They've never once micromanaged the educational process here and just helped and complimented and supported us.
There are other things that the students learn here that's a core curriculum that they also get.
Absolutely. So it's the same curriculum as in New York State, but we try and relate all of their instruction to healthcare. We make it applicable. We bring in post-traumatic stress disorder victims when they're reading stories about that in their literature class. We have a book read, The Moral Life of Henrietta Lacks, which is about an African-American impoverished woman whose cancer cells live on today, and we talk about that in all of our science classes. We do lots of internship opportunities. We bring guest speakers in. We send our students out at least twice a year to the hospitals and the rehab centers and the colleges that are providing health care, so the students have firsthand experiences.
And we talked a little bit about that with the students. That's the MASH camp, which I think is fascinating. And I think that's interesting because you're throwing them into that situation where they have to jump in and see it and learn it in one day in a real life situation.
Yeah, all of our students within the first couple of weeks they're here have a career and a college plan. And what we do is we take that information and that data and we provide them experiences that really determine, is this what I want to do? We'll put students in cadaver labs. We'll put them in autopsy situations. We'll have them watch, some of our students watched a live surgery a couple weeks ago in a veterinary clinic. Some of the students watched a live aneurysm survey within 20 feet of the patient. They see those things. Sometimes they'll pass out. Sometimes they get nauseous. Sometimes they say, wow, this is really cool. I want to do this. And they can make better career choices. It also motivates them to do better academically in the long run because they know that these are competitive fields.
What's ultimately your, I guess, vision, goal? You know, how would you kind of sum up your experience with the teachers, the board, and the students?
Well, our vision is that the Health Sciences Charter School will become the premier college and career-ready charter school in New York State and beyond. When we think about that statement, we want to change the lives of these children and their families. We want to be able to provide a workforce for this emerging healthcare industry. And that's not just doctors and nurses. It's heating and ventilating specialists, it's IT specialists, engineers, it's attorneys that support those industries. So in many regards, we're like many high schools, but our students are making education decisions. Our true measure won't be our graduation rate and our Regents pass rate. Our true measure will be 3 to 5 years out when we find out whether or not they had to do a remedial course as a freshman in college, whether or not they were able to retain that job for 6 months, a year, whether or not they're moving along their career path to their ultimate goals to be productive members of this society.
It was great to meet Principal Hank Stupinski. He's doing a great job at the Health Sciences Charter School. And remember, coming up May 6th, the school board elections. As we go to break here, we're going to post some more names. See, these are some more of the candidates that are up for election. Coming up, take a look. Barbara Seals Nevergold, she's retired, currently on the school board. You've heard her name in the news recently. Patricia Bowers-Pierce, criminal investigator at the Erie County DA's office. Larry Quinn, he's self-employed. You remember Larry Quinn was involved in the Buffalo Sabres organization, helped build the arena downtown, was formerly on the Griffin administration. And Sergio Rodriguez, former mayoral candidate, publisher of GI magazine. I'm going to have all of that information posted on WBBZ-TV. We'll be back with more right after this. This rounds out the slate for Buffalo School Board candidates. Giselle Stokes, King Center Charter School Council. That's what she's doing currently. Bernie Tolbert, retired. He's a former FBI special agent in charge. Was a mayoral candidate last election. And Stefan Wright, youth development at the Boys and Girls Club. That election coming up May 6th. All right. Now, changing subjects, the Niagara Falls Hog, that's Harley Owners Group. They had a great big event over the weekend. It was a polar bear bike run and a bike blessing. And our own Mark Urick Jr. was there, and Keith Coolwin from our sales department. It all started at American Harley on Erie Avenue in North Tonawanda, ended at the Hard Rock Cafe in Niagara Falls. Jim Kelly's bike was there for Hunter's Hope. Of course, WBBZ, your hometown television station, supporting the event. And we wish all of the bikers who are getting out there as the warmer weather approaches safety and to enjoy their ride. Did I get it all in, Mark? Got it all in. All right. And there it is. Look at that GoPro. Zoom, zoom. Riding all over Western New York. That's from our own Mark Urick Jr. So we wish our bikers a safe and happy and fun season coming up. All right, that'll do it for this edition of Political Buzz on WBBZ-TV, Thursday morning at 9, Sunday at 11. Stay tuned. We have some special projects coming up you won't want to miss. I can't tell you about them, but believe me when I tell you they're going to be big right here on your hometown television station. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.